The Fantasy Footballer Studio is sponsored by Walmart. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Oh, welcome in. Tuesday, October 14th, the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Jason Randall Moore, Mike Wright, Andy Holloway back with you.
I feel like I'm in trouble. That's the full name. Get over here.
You're
from
grounded.
The parents.
You're grounded, Jason.
Wow.
Welcome in, one and all.
Feel a little exposed.
Because of the full name. His social security number.
Yeah, whoa.
628.
Oh, you got the first digit right.
It should be very easy to,
deduce
from there. Welcome in. We've got a waiver episode today. So we'll get into some of the names you need to pick up. A lot of players are hurting right now. I've got leagues with Puka and Ibuka that are especially hurting. And
taking a Duka on you?
Yeah, it's not, I felt invincible in those leagues. And you just blink and you're like, I have no one to play.
Yeah. It is a great reminder for all of the leagues you're in where you look across the pond and you see that team that is in first.
Europe.
You see that team that is in first place and they just look unbeatable. You're like, I'm not going to be able to compete this year. Those teams can have a bad week and lose a player or two, and all of a sudden they're not in the running.
Well, and it's also it's a time to show your mettle in a sense. Like for that team that was dominating with those two players, you're now in a position where you're like, do I need to make a move? Like, how long is Puka going to be out? How long is Ibuka going to be out? And
no one knows.
And no one knows. And so it's like, do you need to go make a change? Can you withstand the weeks without CeeDee Lamb, right? And so there's a lot of question marks and a lot of waiver pickups, and we'll talk about them all today. I want to remind you to check out jointhefoot.com. We have our exclusive Waiver Wire tools over there. Spot Start tool, lineup optimizer, building out some trade tools that we hope to launch in the next month. And the ultimate dashboard, you can use that for every league. Auto import your team, optimize the lineup every week, and it's getting more important as the weeks go on. So you also get an extra episode of the show if you support us at jointhefoot.com. Check that out. Monday Night Football: Falcons over the Bills, Bears over the Commanders.
Those were some pretty good games. I thought it was some good football. The Falcons game was pretty shocking. The way they jumped out to a lead and then just kind of kept going, and
they didn't score again.
Yeah, the second half,
except for the field goal.
The second half, when they were up by 14, and then the Bills score.
Well, at that point, you knew they were going to lose. You knew the Falcons were going to lose.
It did feel like it was.
I thought they were going to lose when the Drake London end of the half touchdown didn't count. And that was 21-7, and it stayed that way. And then they came out and scored in the first possession. Yeah. I thought that was the point where
the Borgogan was boots on the ground.
Yeah, Kyle was at
game,
the
and he said
game.
1,000% thought they were going to lose.
Yeah, you felt like you needed that touchdown, but obviously
he also said it was at least 60% Bills fans in Atlanta.
What's going on down there, Atlanta?
I'm also fairly certain that certain. I'm fairly certain. I'm pretty certain that they only needed like 2 offensive players, and everyone else could have sat down. I mean, Drake London 10 for 158 and a touchdown, and then one that he almost scored, and then Bijan was.
Bijan.
Every time you see Bijan run the football, you're like,
I gotta start fanning myself.
Like Arthur Smith thought you should take him off the field. Like, what are you like? Really, you should examine that person's head. And that's not disrespectful to Tyler Algier, who had a 21-yard touchdown run in this game. It's just the differential is so massive. Like, Bijan is the best change direction player in the game, an amazing receiver, a breakaway touchdown candidate, longest touchdown of the year yesterday, 81 yards. How do you –
The backup to Barry Sanders might have been very good at football. Right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't take Barry Sanders. Like, Bijan is a game breaker every time he touches the ball. Your offense is if you have him on your roster, your offense is guaranteed worse every time he's not on the field.
Yeah, it's wild. And I understand needing a breather or there, whatever, but it's like the split last year, the fantasy community being irate about it. There's all these things we want to see happen. Travion Henderson, we want to see that happen. We might be wrong about some of those, right, compared to the team, which, by the way, funny comment on that situation that we can talk about in a minute. But this situation was just like all the fantasy people are right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you've got to have him out there. He was awesome.
Also,
Drake London.
wide receiver usage. Let me check here. Drake London.
No, there was no one else. Zero.
The only wide receiver to catch a pass
yesterday
was Drake London.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts didn't even do anything, really. It was 3 catches for Kyle Pitts, 6 for Bijan.
Well, he had the one where he kind of just fell down.
10 for...
So he did do that.
10 for Drake London. Yeah. Kyle Pitts, not a dog?
No, he's not a dog.
I don't think he's a dog.
You don't have to be a dog to be good, but he's not a dog. I mean, the receiving work, the receiving game it's Drake London, but it's also Bijan. Bijan's on pace for 1,150 receiving yards, which is
that's
great
insane
for a wide receiver.
And I would say you got to take the Atlanta Falcons defense
seriously.
serious.
Yes, it's great.
When your players are going up against Atlanta, that has to factor into your decision making.
Yeah, this was a wild game.
The great Josh Allen.
Terrible day.
Yeah, in a 4-point scoring format, he was at 15 points.
He did not get to 200 yards. He did throw 2 interceptions.
Well, and you're starting to finally look at that receiver room and go, okay.
Especially when Palmer got hurt.
Yeah, Palmer hip drop tackle, by the way. And the hip drop is happening, and they just make sure they don't call the flag on it ever.
Well, but taunting. We got that under control.
But
did you stare at that guy?
Yeah.
What,
did you look him down?
Think about the kids.
No Dalton Kincaid?
Yeah, no Dalton Kincaid. Palmer was out. I think Dalton Kincaid was a big deal for this team. He seems like their kind of primary receiving option so far this season.
They could have used Keemon Coleman.
They really should. Keemon Coleman.
What? Sir, can we check what's in Andy's cup? What is going on?
Oh, man.
Probably needs more coffee. Apparently.
And less vodka.
Yeah. I see clear liquid. That's all I know. I can't smell it from here, but a cup full of clear liquid.
Come on, Coleman.
Come on, Coleman.
Yeah, no, okay, there we go.
He's a full cut at this point. Cut some Coleman.
Yeah, you probably don't need him there.
Hey, you just can't rely on him. There are a million players that could catch a touchdown every week.
Right.
He is just a player that could catch a touchdown at this point. It sucks. I thought that we'd see a lot better than that.
And at the beginning of the season,
Al Borland's sending me a breathalyzer test on Amazon.
It really seemed like, after that week 1, well, when you play against the Baltimore Ravens and you're down and you're needing to score 40 points, Keon Coleman's going to be great. But the Bills have a good defense and they've got a good run game, and so you just don't need him all the time. Well, they really needed him in this game. They were down. They needed to score. He didn't step up.
Yeah. And then James Cook was pretty good on the ground but didn't score.
Yeah.
And didn't catch any passes, I don't think. So, yeah, not the best day. And then, I think both of these games were upsets because the Commanders were at home. They seemed like they had control of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they committed the fumble. They committed multiple turnovers. You had
3 turnovers to none. You're going to lose that game.
Yeah, and they did, even to the Bears, who try to find ways to lose games sometimes. So it was 25-24. Credit to them. DeAndre Swift was insane.
We've been talking about it for weeks. Of you're like, do you play DeAndre Swift? Yeah, I guess. And he was awesome in this game. And look, at least to my eyeballs, I was like, they're doing different things. It's not just DeAndre Swift going up the middle. It was like a lot of really wide pitches to the outside. You're like, oh, hey, look.
Uses speed.
The guy who doesn't have vision, just let him be fast and get to the edge.
He's always been athletic.
And it worked really well.
And get him the ball in the receiving game. He was incredible. There were, this offensive line is just so much better for Chicago. Like the sacks, like Caleb took 3. Okay, you can live with that. Not leading the league in sacks. Changes the way he makes decisions. So the Russian game was amazing.
the passing game sucked.
Rome Odunze
Yeah.
was 2 for 32 in this game.
But
Yeah,
that's because Luther Burden had 4 receptions, Swift had 2, DJ Moore had 3, Rome had 2, Zacchaeus had 2, Loveland had 2. It was like
You're saying
when
it
I
sucked
say
for
it sucked,
fantasy.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I thought Caleb played pretty well, and I didn't really have any problems with it. It was a rainy game as well, so but I don't want them to spread the ball around. Don't go to the open guy. Force it to your stars. Okay?
Yeah, and
Look at Drake London.
there was what happened with DJ Moore because he was in
I don't know. He
was in D.C. and stayed in D.C.
And there was also a note that
in a hospital.
he left in an ambulance. There was a report. I saw Underdog tweeted it out.
Precautionary medical attention after leaving the game in an ambulance.
He
And
played
it's-
94% of the snaps.
And well, he had the there was a hit where it looked like he hurt his leg, but I don't understand why he would go to a hospital overnight for that. That's usually like some sort of internal injury.
So huge credit to the Bears. Big victory. They're now 3-2, above 500. Jaden Daniels had a good fantasy day with 3 touchdowns through the interception. Here's the double-edged JCM Bill Krosky situation.
I have no jokes.
No one else
Yeah.
really got any work. He was
Bill,
17
Bill,
carries. Bill.
You know.
17 for 61, had the fumble.
Chris Rodriguez deleted.
No carries. Jeremy McNichols had 2. So it was all JCM, so that part was good. But the production, you're supposed to be able to run on Chicago. He didn't at home. Debo, who played through a heel injury, awful, 4 for 15.
He was a heel for your fantasy team.
Yeah, and then, Chris Moore, 3 catches in the touchdown. Zach Ertz, 6 for 43 in the touchdown.
McCaffrey had a touchdown.
Yeah, and so it's been,
Oh,
without
man,
Terry
what a play.
McLaurin.
That was a
The play you're saying?
the Luke McCaffrey
because there's
design.
no one around him?
Yeah, they fooled the Bears on that one.
So you were pretty disappointed in everybody unless you played Zach Ertz or Jaden Daniels, I think. All right, let's talk some news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Well, the Titans fired Brian Callahan, which, if you've ever seen Brian Callahan in a press conference, was probably sweet relief for that man.
Yeah,
It has been misery. And the
he's
only
off to
thing
the Bahamas.
Yeah, I take a break, brother. And I don't think he was a good coach for them.
No, he was in over his head.
I actually think, you went through Will Levis. Cam Ward is playing worse than Will Levis. You're supposed to be the offensive mastermind. Didn't really do any quarterback whispering there. Lots of problems that were outside of your control. But, man, if you're going to do this, just do it before the season and get the guy like a stable new head coach.
I think they thought that this was the right guy for the quarterback, that the quarterback was the issue last year, and they found out it wasn't, and they knew he was not that dude. There was a quote going around, and I can't verify 100% its authenticity. It was like a Reddit post.
Good
What are we
start.
doing here,
Good
then?
start.
What are
Good
we
start.
doing?
It really did seem like it was true.
It is better to have loved and lost.
No,
Yeah.
but it was the ownership talking about I'm not going to lose to Mike with this head coach next week, and they play the Patriots where Mike Vrabel just left, and I think they were done with Callahan, and they're like,
But they are going to lose.
but not with
Brian.
Callahan.
Oh, okay.
Just worse.
Yeah, maybe.
The last 4 number 1 picks have had their head coaches fired during their rookie campaigns. It's a good reminder that just having a new quarterback does not fix all that ills you and got you the number 1 pick to begin with.
It's
you guys-
almost like the team drafting with the 101 is bad.
So-
You saw who the interim head coach is for the Tennessee Titans.
Is McCoy, right?
Mike McCoy.
Oh, gosh.
Good luck.
Okay.
I will say, look, there's a big post-firing bump usually for the interim coach.
Yeah,
Since
the one
2020,
game.
the teams are 10-4
gonna be
versus the
10-5.
spread.
Versus the spread, yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, we talked about that injury. Pete Carroll says it might be best for the long haul to keep Brock Bowers out.
Yeah, and they've got a week 8 bye, so I do not expect. I mean, if the head coach is saying this and then you get 2 weeks for 1 week missed, I can't imagine he plays. And
Injuries, you can't control them, but definitely 100% the first 3 tight ends off the board this year were bad picks. I mean,
McBride looked
McBride's
great.
doing okay.
He's been okay
but
this year.
relative
and-
to the cost of what you spent on him, I don't think he was worth that, is all I'm saying.
yeah, maybe. He was the tight end 1 this week.
He's been In 3 of 6 weeks, so you have tight end 5, 6, and then he's actually 2 is what I'm seeing.
But in a very anecdotal yet funny turn of events, it feels like in our chopped league, whoever has Brock Bowers.
Did he go again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Brock Bowers that team's been chopped 3 times.
Yeah,
Yes.
he is the ring. You pick up Brock Bowers, and then go 7 days.
And he's going to be sitting up there, and he's like.
And someone's going to bid hard on him
Yeah.
because,
Not me. Not me. That's crazy. Brock Bowers.
Don't do it.
Well, I mean, just
he's going to go for $2 fab.
Brock Bowers and Kittle's injuries, and then you just had to spend such a high pick on McBride is all my point.
Speaking of Kittle, Shanahan's hoping to get Kittle back at practice this week. He could return to play this week, but it'll be soon. They need him.
They do. Garrett Wilson's going to miss a couple weeks with an MRI showing a hyperextended knee. So Garrett Wilson, Ibuka, Puka, all dealing with injuries. We'll get more updates. We don't have more updates yet.
The Garrett Wilson one is, it's double devastation because it's like I would have been very happy to go right back to Justin Fields next week with a healthy Garrett Wilson. But if he is not out there, I don't think
it's going to save you.
I don't think I will do that.
It's going to save you from that possible mistake.
Wasn't it who do they play? Cincy? No, Carolina.
Yeah, like the matchup is fine, but
who do they throw the ball to?
Josh Reynolds and Mason Taylor. Rico Dowdle, when asked, Dave Canales was asked about whether he'd earned the right to be the starter. He said, "We'll see."
Yeah,
to me,
you have to say it when you have a guy like Chuba, who you gave all that money to. I don't think.
Oh no, that's not what you have to say.
Oh, you think you just go?
I mean,
you could come out and say, "No,
James
Chuba's
Conner
is
our starter. It doesn't matter if Trey Benson played well." That's what you can say. Chuba Hubbard is our starter moving forward.
You would never come out and say,
"We'll see." Is
Rico's
good for
the
Dowdle.
starter. Yeah, I'm still of the mindset.
Our guy,
personally,
me and Jason's guy, Rico
Dowdle. Dude, Rico.
Yeah. Woo, Rico bros.
I'm still of the mindset that Rico and Chuba will split. Like it'll be 50-50. That's that's my big worry. I think the hope at this point has to be that Rico just takes over the role.
Yeah, for if you're looking at fantasy purposes, it's difficult.
50-50, he's still worth rostering and possibly
for sure
flexing.
rostering.
It's difficult because Rico is the big bruising back that they even said it on the broadcast. We're like, this is the type of running back that over the course of the game wears you out, and you get to the fourth quarter and you're just like, oh, go ahead, man. I can't get hit again. So if you go into the split with him, it
might not be as effective.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
That was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. It's time for a break and then the waiver wire.
All right. We are in the heart of the fantasy season, and the injuries are already piling up. ACLs, stingers, and turf toes, oh my. In fact, the only thing right now that feels good is having the perfect backup ready to go. So wouldn't it be great if you had a perfect backup in real life too? With Progressive, you get more than just a policy. You get a playbook full of coverage options that you can count on for your home or for your auto. You want to customize your protection? No problem. You can build your coverage just like your fantasy team, making sure you got the right players in every position and a backup plan when you need it most. And when life throws an audible, like that fumble in the driveway or a hailstorm at home, Progressive is there with 24/7 support. Don't get caught without a great backup. Visit Progressive.com to quote today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party issuers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to term, policy, limits, and conditions.
Oh, we'll fix all of your problems here on the waiver wire. Nothing's wrong. Everybody's healthy and fine when you grab these guys, right? Right.
The Waiver Wire, presented by Walmart.
Texans and Vikings coming back from the bye. Bills and Ravens trying to get healthy. They'll get the bye week at a time they both really need it. The Bills' defense in shambles.
And
so many injured players.
And the Ravens hoping they were only in shambles like the Bills' defense.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens' defense is beat up. Lamar Jackson should be back. we will have a humongous Week 8 bye situation. So it's worth mentioning. Keep that in view.
Yeah.
If you avoided major injury and you're just like, I don't need anybody on the waiver wire, you're wrong. Because next week, the Cardinals, Jags, Lions, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks in Week 8 are all going to be out. And so plan ahead.
Yeah,
then you don't pay fab.
Even if it is as simple as looking at next week's defensive matchups and just saying, oh, okay, I'm going to lose. There will be so much competition on the waiver wire next week because everyone's going to need people. Just grab them a week early.
Yeah, and even if you don't grab them, compete for them immediately, check who was dropped and look on Sunday morning. You can make your plans for next week on Sunday morning too.
Sure.
But let's start at the running back position.
Oh, get that hair silky smooth.
Kamani Vidal-Sassoon is certainly the leader in the clubhouse here.
Silky smooth.
So it was an impressive 18 for 124. We got word, I don't know if we talked about it on the show yet, that Amari Hampton is likely to be gone longer than the 4 weeks. But that's an official report that injury is more significant. And so
there's
amount some runway here.
The amount of rumored trade interest that the Chargers have had, and it was more leading into this week than maybe what they saw from Vidal-Sassoon was good enough to say, hey, maybe we're okay here and we don't need to trade for someone. But they were rumored for a bunch of different people, Kamara or Breece Hall or whoever. And I think when you hear the report that Omarion, his injury is longer than 4 weeks, mixed with that, with those rumors, it's like, oh, this maybe it takes Omarion, a big chunk of the season before he comes back.
Did you see the Breece Hall?
Yeah.
He said
free 20.
Free 20.
Yeah.
Breece Hall is a
social media. We are so back.
It's interesting because if you're the Jets, it makes no sense to keep him. Even if you trade him,
Correct.
they say their value is probably a fifth round pick.
And that's why they won't trade him.
Oh, that's true. It made no sense to fake a punt and then not run a play. I mean,
Oh,
what? You think I'm drunk?
Peyton talking about that play was incredible. It was it's
Manning?
No, Sean Payton talking about the
Sean Payton.
the fake punt.
Oh, okay.
He's like my wife knew that was going to happen.
It's okay.
The fake punt is like Breece Hall's on. Why is Breece Hall on the field? Why is the full offensive line on the field?
But then they got it.
I know they got it.
They don't run the play.
Yeah,
they don't run a play. They let the clock run out. That team is broken.
Yeah.
But back to running backs.
They should just get whatever. Well,
you would get a fifth.
So that's what the market value rumor is. Does Breece Hall sign a big enough contract at the end of the year to work for your compensatory picks? That's the equation.
That's
you have
actually
to
a really valid thought.
Because he could sign and be worth a third.
Yeah.
In your formula.
The Vidal fab spend, based on what we're talking about, there's a chance they trade for somebody. Certainly, Vidal was barely on the roster bubble, playing well now. They probably feel much better, but
I feel like I'm 25 to 35%. It was a great week, but we've seen this before where you have a backup come and look great, and then it turns out that it's
Woody Marks.
It's yeah, exactly, Woody Marks. Even Bill Krosky, who still got the workload but just was more disappointing. I don't feel like Vidal is some guaranteed solution for the next 5 or 6 weeks. He's a possible solution for the next 5 or 6 weeks.
I agree with that if Vidal will get the first shot, you have to give it to him after 18 for 124. But it could be hot hand. The report of it being Haskins being the featured guy, it was wrong because it was Vidal right away getting the opportunities. But if Haskins comes out and gets the hot hand, I think he will get the work. I don't think they're really committed to one guy or the other.
What's the next name on your list outside of the big pickup of Vidal?
It's it's not great, but it is Bam Knight from Arizona. Andy, you mentioned on the show you thought Bam got hurt, but it was DeMarcado who got hurt for the Arizona Cardinals. We don't currently have an update on that injury, but if it's Michael Carter and Bam Knight, it's at least consolidated. Who's the starter? I don't know. But if it's those two guys, they'll just split the work. And Bam Knight now has scored in back-to-back weeks. The matchup is not great. It's Green Bay and then a bye week. But then
the
you get
snap count for Michael
Dallas.
Carter went from 58 to 44.
Yeah, if you are needing a start, the only guys out there that I think you could pick up off of waivers and start Bam Knight and maybe Sean Tucker, who got a little bit more work as the backup this last week, got the touchdown.
They're playing Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, neither one's a great matchup. I guess Green Bay is, probably an easier to run on team than Detroit, but then both are tough.
Tajay Spears was 5 for 31 and 4 targets, 4 for 19. I mean, Tony Pollard.
I actually think he's a pretty good ad.
Tony Pollard's workload went down. No, I mean, the team is in shambles. They have Mike McCoy now as their head coach.
This was the you remember he was the RB 5, 12, and 13 to end last year?
Oh, yeah. When
he did the exact same thing. He started the year hurt, scrambled for snaps, and then all of a sudden, obviously the injury to Pollard. But he would have juice if Pollard went down, and he could be a flex emergency play right now.
Yeah, I think so.
There's also the reminders that, like Marshawn Lloyd, if you're the Josh Jacobs manager in particular, he's eligible to return Week 6. He looked good in the preseason, back up for Green Bay. It would be worth a glance. And then Aaron Jones is coming back potentially Week 8 for the Vikings.
Do you guys make anything of?
And Jaden Blue.
Yeah. Jaden Blue should be stashed. The Pittsburgh Steelers, like Jalen Warren it's his first week back, but he pretty much split with Kenneth Gainwell, who had 6 for 22. He also had 6 targets. Do you feel like that was just the 1 week that Warren is ramping back up to his workload?
Probably to the point where
but I mean, Gainwell had that huge game. So is it the Steelers feel more comfortable playing both guys now?
I think they feel completely comfortable. I just think that if this was the acclimation game, even if Warren snaps go up just a little bit, this is not enough work to make you excited about Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is Warren's team, and honestly, it could go the other direction too. I know Caleb Johnson's done nothing, but he had the same amount of workload that Kenny Gainwell had.
It was really all 3 of them were playing.
I think this was just
Caleb was playing, huh?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So I think this is, Jalen Warren's team, and he is so doggone good.
He's a dog.
That play where he chips Myles Garrett, like pushes him almost off of his feet, and then circles back around as Garrett gets after Aaron Rodgers and they're scrambling, and then he becomes the outlet and catches the ball for a first down. It's just awesome. Mike, did you catch the comments from Mike Tomlin about Joe Flacco?
I don't think I did.
So Jason and I watched this clip of Mike Tomlin in a press conference, and it was one of those clips where I was like, this has to be AI. Because you're just like, people do the press conference clips and they change their lips, and I'm like, Mike Tomlin doesn't say a lot. I'm like, there's just no way. He was very, very vocal about how ridiculous he found it that Cincinnati, or rather Cleveland, would trade a guy they thought would be their number 1 starter to a division rival in the middle of the season. Yeah, he's like, their GM must be a lot smarter than me.
Is he doing the thing where we get big mad?
Oh, he got
our friends when you're like,
yes.
You traded in fantasy football. You traded to my opponent.
That's exactly what he's
jerk.
doing. I was so mad at Andy when he traded Bam and Debo this last week, and it was like, what are you doing? Helping this guy to be better.
To my division opponent?
Yeah.
That's funny.
They play this week, right? I think the Steelers play the Bengals?
Yeah, Steelers-Bengals.
So now it's like they were going to play a weakness, and now there's a less weaker quarterback there. Yeah. You guys want to turn the page to wide receiver?
Yeah.
Man. Not too much.
Well, look, Kendrick Bourne keeps getting it done. 5 for 142, 100-plus yard games back-to-back, 50% rostered. Also seeing more involvement from Josh Downs in the Indianapolis offense.
We are.
6 for 42, got into the end zone finally. And then you have the kind of take advantage of an opportunity situations in Tampa Bay and the Rams, and then the Kayshon Boutte resurgence. So those are some of the top names and situations, but I'd love to break those 2 injury situations down. Yeah, the other name I would throw out there just into that same tier, talking about all those guys, the opportunities for a weekly start, is Jordan Whittington for the Rams. They've got a lot of injuries with Puka. Tutu Atwell he missed the game last week with a hamstring injury.
He's going to be good to go.
Maybe he's back, but we did see him step up in the past, and we know that Matthew Stafford, will will crown someone.
Yeah, so that's your answer for the Puka situation then, is
Yeah.
Whittington? Mike, what about the situation in Tampa Bay where, Tez Johnson had the big touchdown catch, Cameron Johnson had a big touchdown catch, Sterling Shepard is normally going to be more of a possession type of guy, but he's had opportunities, and I've been bummed to play him.
Yeah, I understand that. He's not going to be – none of these players are – other than, Kendrick Bourne feels like you can play him until, like Pearsall and George Kittle and everybody's back. Of the Tampa Bay guys, I lean towards Sterling Shepard. They are hopeful that Mike Evans will practice this week, and I feel like if Mike Evans is back, then it will be Evans, Sterling Shepard, and then Tez Johnson will get like slot snaps and those types of things.
Is Kayshon Boutte a mirage in the desert where as soon as you get close enough to him,
it's the Keon Coleman of week one of –
Boutte's done it a few times.
Week 1 he had the 8 targets, 6 for 103, and then this week he caught all 5 of his targets and had deep shots. It's a 21% target share. That's his highest of the season. That's not.
Would you play him this week against Tennessee? Jason's looking like a guy who would.
I don't think I would. I've been rostering Boutte most of the year.
Would you play Tez Johnson?
I would.
Would you play?
I play Boutte over Tez.
Boutte.
I would play Tez. Tez to me is like when we're talking about the wide receiver core for the Buccaneers, the 2 Johnson guys there, Tez and Cameron. That's who I'm interested in. They are younger. They've got juice. The Sterling Shepard, he might have more targets, but I don't think for fantasy value it's going to be very worthwhile. I'm going to take the shot on MVP Baker Mayfield doing something special down the field, and so I would order them Tez Johnson, Cameron Johnson, Sterling Shepard personally.
All right. Other names to throw onto the roster for spot start situations. Romeo Doubs against Arizona would be something you could look at.
Always. Romeo Doubs, always a
he's
spot
always
start.
Able to be spot started because he's always on the waiver wire. Luther Burden had the 4 targets, 451.
Luther Burden needs to be paid attention
Especially
to.
with DJ Moore.
If DJ Moore is hurt, and it was after the bye week, and both Burden and Loveland were getting more opportunities. Now, it's not necessarily enough of a route share that you're really excited, but Luther Burden is he
led the team in receptions.
Chicago with Zacchaeus, man. Just get Burden on the field.
Zacchaeus is he's like Kendrick Bourne. He's one of those dudes where if he plays, he's just always kind of like quarterbacks like him.
He's not bad.
But he's in the way of other people.
Yeah, it's just Luther Burden is – I think Luther Burden is a special player, and once he is fully acclimated, he's going to be good.
One reminder, like Jaden Reed's eligible to return in Week 8. Like
Jaden Reed?
Yes, Jaden Reed.
But
he's
eligible, but he's not going to be back. He had the foot surgery too.
He did. He had that and the collarbone injury, but that is his eligibility date. Tillman's Week 10. Christian Watson's designated to return right now, and so is Jalen Coker.
Yeah, Christian Watson, the buzz on him was positive for him to be back sooner than later. Well,
they opened his window
probably
last
just makes
week,
things more
so it either
annoying.
has to be this week or next week.
Better for Jordan Love.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
And then I brought up talking about Jordan Whittington, who I think is a fine play if Tutu is gone. If Tutu's back in his own right, Tutu, we've seen some big games from him. So you've still got Devontae Adams there, which I think is good for the other player here, the secondary guy, to go and have space and room to do some work.
I forgot the drop candidates at running back, so I'll give you those with the wide receivers.
Okay.
But like people want to drop Joe Mixon, who they need the IR spot, which I get it.
Yeah,
I have leagues where my IR spot is too full.
That's fine.
RJ Harvey, they want to drop RJ Harvey.
I wouldn't
I wouldn't either.
It's he's a tough player right now because you can't play him.
Right.
Yes.
So
I agree with that.
And then you're going into Super Bye next week. These guys will become even more of an issue next week. Like if you go another week of 4 points for Harvey, 4 points for Henderson, 4 points for these guys that you're holding and stashing and hoping for, they will become a big issue next week with the injuries mixed with the bye weeks. I have leagues like that this week where I'm like I'm going to cut Aaron Jones in a league.
Wow.
I don't have a choice. I've got the IR spots are filled up with, it's going to be filled up with Ibuka and Puka.
Right.
I have bye week players, and then I've got other injuries. It's like, what do I?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not helping me now. I don't know what else I can do. You got to start a player.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then cut candidates: Juwan Jennings, Keon Coleman, Jacoby Myers.
I would not cut Juwan. Once he's
Says he's playing with 5 broken ribs and a bunch of other injuries.
Oh, yeah, he did say that.
I don't know if that was a Mac Jones style.
Yeah, he's been around Mac Jones too long.
Mac Jones would be like, I'm playing with 7 broken ribs.
Mhm.
But Keon Coleman, Jacoby Myers, I think you can say goodbye.
Dude,
Yeah.
Jacoby is just such a disappointment. Like, what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, I mean, week 1, it looked good, but they are clearly moving on. I mean, Jack Bash getting snaps over Dante Thornton, and then really it comes down to a horrible
Geno,
quarterback.
yeah.
Geno just is.
Geno's the problem.
So, also, Calvin Ridley and Tyquan Thornton are drop candidates. Ridley's hurt and hasn't been productive. I do think you could cut him. I think I don't know if like waiting for him to come back is the best thing for your team.
Yeah, he's an okay to cut, and Thornton is unfortunately. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice will be back.
Yep.
And Thornton will have huge plays here or there, but you
Just like Justin Watson used to,
Yep.
and that'll be
Just like
all he's worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just go ahead and take him out of my lineup here. Let's go ahead and put in superstar.
Is this the Dino Squad?
Let's go Isaiah Bond.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that team's so good. Tight ends. Harold Phantom Jr. is set up to, I think, do tons of work over the rest of the season. Njoku is hurt. Phantom was already a PPR guy. I don't feel like he's getting enough attention, or maybe you guys aren't as excited as I am.
No, I am very
I think
much,
he's going
I
to-
am every bit as excited. I think rest of season is a stretch for me because Njoku and him are really, truly the tight end position is being used so much in Cleveland. It's delicious, but they are splitting it. And so it's like it's not enough. It's not satiating. If Njoku is
Need more protein.
if Njoku
All
is
food analogies, please.
missing any game, Harold Fannin is an absolute must start in every single one of those. I mean, you can start him with Njoku, but I do think if Njoku, misses a week or two, comes back, and rest of the season, Harold Fanning, it'll be a little bit disappointing.
I agree with all of those
He
things.
could be making the takeover though too.
The concern for me would be how much they actually threw the ball last week. I mean, 10 targets is awesome.
52.
Dylan Gabriel threw the ball 52 times. They will be playing the Miami Dolphins. I expect a big bounce back for Quinshon Judkins.
I do, but it is important to know that Dylan Gabriel is not throwing the ball downfield at all.
Oh, yeah.
So
No,
out of that
I'm saying I
52,
agree,
I
but
think
10
he threw-
targets seems like probably we won't see that again.
Yeah, I like Fannin. There are some options this week at tight end. Cade Otton. There's players to take advantage of other injuries. Cade Otton is really, like, if I had to flex Tez Johnson or Shepard or Cameron Johnson or Otton, I would flex Otton.
Yeah.
That would
Yep.
be the pick of the 4.
I
and then,
do agree with that.
And then Mason Taylor, I throw last week out for everybody.
Meow.
They threw the ball for 43 total passing yards.
He's the number one.
He's their
option
number
on the
one
team now.
target. Like, Mason Taylor is their actual number one. So,
Good luck.
I mean, yeah, and you mentioned it. It's Carolina. Like
And then Cincinnati.
you
So, I mean,
talk
yes.
about 10 target potential. Like, I think that's actually in the realm of possibilities.
Mason Taylor is he's my number one tight end pickup. I have to whisper it.
Number one tight end pickup.
Yeah.
You don't like the fact that people might think you're a cat lover.
Yeah, that's why I whispered it.
Uh-huh.
That's why Jason just said it.
But you do have other potential names to mention. If you get another week of Michael Mayer in Las Vegas, that's a spot start situation without Bowers. And don't miss what Aronde Gadsden is doing
Yeah.
in Los Angeles.
Especially if Quentin Johnston remains injured.
Well, Keenan Allen has slowed down. Quentin Johnston was out. And this is not some veteran just taking advantage of a random opportunity. This is a talented rookie tight end who ended up 7 for 68. So you could do worse, for sure.
Yep.
And there's a chance Tyler Higbee gets some work done
Yeah.
with the
We were
injury
talking
to
about the
Puka.
Rams.
With the injury to Puka as well.
And Taysom Hill can always get a touchdown.
Oh, God, Taysom Hill.
People want to drop Juwan Johnson, Mike.
Yep, with Taysom, and then what is it? Foster Moreau is back? Is that right?
Taysom and Moreau.
Yeah, so it too diluted.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
his snaps dropped from he'd been in the 90s. He dropped down to 71%, and his target shares.
Yeah, we loved the utilization, and then that is now gone.
Top 5 defenses to pick up.
The Browns.
Of readily available ones, the Cleveland Browns is my top.
I mean, the
option.
Browns are a great defense, and Tua can make mistakes and exit the game.
Make mistakes.
Or it is Tua gonna, after his little
tirade at the
little
presser?
press conference, is he gonna get a water boy treatment, where the offensive line's just like, hey, let him through.
I don't think so.
Probably
yeah,
not.
I know. They won't do that, but it's a great play.
Yeah. Cleveland, Washington plays Dallas. I don't want that.
It's the pickups this week are difficult because of the roster percentage.
The Seahawks have been pretty good. The Patriots are mostly rostered, but anytime you're playing against Tennessee, and Mike, you talked about it a couple weeks ago, pick them up for this stretch run of a number of games. I would say those are the main pickups.
I'm sorry I accidentally mentioned the Commanders' name.
Well, they're
in Dallas. That is a horrific matchup situation.
The roster percentages are very difficult now.
Yeah, and obviously Pittsburgh, if they're out there, they play Cincinnati. That's a great start as well. And you can see all of the rankings, including all of the defenses. Falcons. The Falcons playing a beat-up San Francisco team, then Miami, then New England. The way they're rushing the passer, that's worth.
I would also throw the Jaguars out there. The Jaguars' defense has been really, really good for fantasy this season. They are getting a ton of sacks, and without Puka, they play the Rams, so they might be able to cause some mayhem.
If the international games continue to be hot fart fest on offense, then the Jags might be all right.
That was this week's Waiver Wire presented by Walmart. Who knew you could get what you need in as fast as an hour? Get free delivery on your first express delivery order with the code EXPRESS. Valid for first express delivery order, $50 minimum, subject to availability, restrictions apply. Taking a break, and then it's quarterback time.
This episode is brought to you by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. This season, make sure to subscribe to NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, where you will get every game every Sunday, all in one place. NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV gives you everything you need to win Sunday. Watch up to 4 games at once with multi-view, or follow your fantasy team and watch the game on one screen. You can even catch up to live with key plays. Now, get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel at any time. Go to youtube.com/fantasyfootballers to sign up today. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games. Base plan required. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season only. Your membership for the following month can be canceled anytime before your renewal date. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Commercial use excluded. No refunds. This episode is supported by Prize Picks. You make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. I've been doing that to great success with Justin Herbert. You want to pick more of a quarterback's passing yards and rushing yards and touchdowns. Now you can do them all in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. And Foot Clan, if you want to play along with us around the studio parts, we've been looking at usually a weekly projection of about 5.5, 6.5 rushing yards on Jordan Love. That one, don't change it. Don't change it out there. Download Prize Picks apps today and use code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Full stream ahead.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go first because I like your picks more. Mine is the lowest on the totem pole, but I want to mention it.
Yeah, no, I like it.
So, Jason, why don't you go ahead and share your streaming quarterback option for week number? What is it?
7. Week 7. I'm gonna go with Sam Darnold, who has he's just looked really good.
I can't believe he's only 50% roster.
He has been a top 12 quarterback in 3 of his last 4 games. Here's a cool stat from Dane Brugler. Most completions of 20-plus yards in the NFL since the start of the 2024 season. You have Baker Mayfield at 82. But ahead of him in number 1, Sam Darnold, 86. Seattle's averaging 28 points per game. They're tied with Indy number 1 in yards per play. JSN is legit. So Sam Darnold, I know that the Houston Texans have a very good defense, but the organization of the Seahawks look like they are being well run. The Cubes system is working. JSN and Darnold are in sync.
So what we're saying is dynasty, the long game. Bryce Young, his next team.
Because you're saying when
Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, they had to go power up in Carolina.
They are the exception. See all the other players ever in history.
I will say for Dynasty, I brought this up last week on the Dynasty show since we were just talking about Sam Darnold. I think he is a very good buy candidate because he's still viewed as this short-term solution, and he's 30 years old. He's going to be their quarterback for he will. He is absolutely
Andy disagrees.
No, I don't agree with that.
He will be their starting quarterback for the next 3 years.
Why isn't he the Minnesota starting quarterback?
Because
they went 14-2.
Yep.
Or 3 or whatever.
Because they had drafted
J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is the only reason that Darnold wasn't.
Yeah, and who did they draft in Seattle?
Are you talking about
Jalen Milroe? They drafted a player. If they believe in Jalen Milroe,
they took him in the first?
No, they didn't take him in the first.
Oh, no,
he
they took him in the second, right?
I'm just saying
right.
This idea.
Oh,
look,
no, he wasn't a second.
Listen to me. The idea that Sam Darnold having a good regular season secures him for long term is insanity. All you need is a bad playoff game from Sam Darnold for them to be done. I'm not kidding. That's what they will do with a player like that. If he goes out and throws 4 picks in a postseason game that he has for this team, there's no guarantee that he's a long-term solution. I don't think that your contention is incorrect. That could be an angle that works out with Sam Darnold. But we literally just saw this template. If you go 14-2 and you play that well for that team, it wasn't just the record. They played that well for that team, and they didn't give him a long-term contract because they were ready to move on, and he didn't play good in the playoffs. That was what it was.
I agree that he didn't play well in the playoffs, and they were willing to move on, but you can't discount the fact that they drafted a guy at number 10. They had their future.
Yeah.
Like the 10th pick in the draft was the quarterback behind him.
I get it, but
it's
if he plays good in the playoffs, he's their quarterback this year. That's what would have happened with Minnesota. There's no way they move on from him. None.
I think both of those things can be true.
So, I mean, I just think Darnold, it sucks because he's been amazing in the regular season the past couple of years. It's just a fickle sport and a fickle situation. We went into the season thinking Milroe could be the starter next year.
Yeah, I guess that's what once upon a time we went into the season thinking Kyle Trask was going to be the starter over Baker Mayfield.
Well, not we, but
you
did.
We as in plenty of 50% of people.
Okay.
50% for Trask?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh,
maybe.
What are you talking? You don't remember how it was? It was at that time.
What's Kyle Trask up to these days?
Oh,
Walmart.
Yeah, is he working there?
Yeah, I 6 weeks into the year, I don't mind going out and buying him if you believe in it. He's been an excellent quarterback, and he's got an excellent. I mean, look when you give him Justin Jefferson, he's amazing. JSN is on that level. JSN's performance on the outside and on deep plays, you just talked about all the deep throws for Darnold.
His completion percentage on deep passes is outrageous right now.
So,
my streamer, back to what we were doing. Look, hold on, because you can't do this with good conscience.
Steel underpants.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Against Cincinnati, Cincinnati is 29th in yards per play allowed. Rodgers has been capable, and if DK Metcalf can continue his streak of touchdowns, which we're at 4 straight games, if we can just get to 2 of them, if we get to 2 touchdowns with Rodgers against the Cincinnati Bengals, which seems very possible, the 252, then you're going to be in a decent spot. So I think that he is playable. It's pretty gross.
Well, the other side of that was my my dart throw that I think might work out in the exact same capacity as Joe Flacco. I just think in particular, this is a team that struggles against the quarterback position. They give up a ton of fantasy points. They're the third worst in the league. He's going to have to throw the ball 1,000,000 times, and he has the best wide receiver in football. So you kind of end up in a situation where I feel like 2 touchdowns is really reasonable this week for Joe Flacco and a ton of passing attempts. The running game is going to be struggling, I think. Chase Brown struggled all year long. And so I think desperation beneath those other candidates, Joe Flacco is actually a potential start. And obviously if Jackson Dart's out there somehow, that's a great pickup because of the rushing.
Yeah, for
but
long
it's
term.
Denver.
Against Denver is scary. I know he got it done against Philly, but I don't blame people for trying, but I would be a little nervous about it.
Yeah, I would be as well. I mean, you look at the week prior against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
He still ran for 55 yards. But he was, the quarterback 16 at 15 fantasy points. It's not a guarantee in the Broncos defense.
You would play
awesome.
Rodgers over Jackson Dart this week? Because if I'd play Darnold over him of our group of 3 streamers, but the other 2 I'd play Jackson Dart over.
Yeah, the rushing upside, Jackson Dart has that Rodgers, he has to get that second touchdown. Has to.
Right.
Because he's not going to run. So I'd probably play Dart.
Who's better rest of the season, Jackson Dart fantasy-wise or Bo Nix fantasy-wise? Because Bo Nix, Justin Fields are the top 2 drop candidates at quarterback.
I still think it'll be Bo Nix. Both of these guys are more in the streaming candidates. Both are running. Dart will run more, but the weapons that Dart has to throw the ball to, they're just not as good. I think that Cortland Sutton and the hodgepodge.
So you would take Bo Nix?
I would take Bo Nix.
Mike, what would you do?
If
you could make that trade in our league right now, would you trade Bo Nix for Jackson Dart?
I would have to. That's going to be a schedule thing, which I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
But, so I mean, right now I lean Bo Nix, but that one it's a fair and tough question.
We've got tons of mailbag tomorrow. The Thursday night preview, backup options. It should be a very, very good show. Thursday starts of the week, matchup previews, and we also have the Footcast that afternoon for jointhefoot.com supporters. And then on Friday, the matchup previews will continue. We got Fantasy Face-Off. My very deserved Wheel of Shame is on the way, and I need it. Like the people,
cathartic.
like the people that whip themselves in the back.
Yeah,
I need
the
that
flagellation. What is that?
Yeah, that's.
I think that's right.
Too frightening of a word
Sounds
for me.
farty though.
Yeah, but that's flatulation.
Yeah. No, I need to pay some penance for how bad.
Yeah, I know.
I
understand. I had that after my Russ.
Oh yeah, you're like just bring it on.
It's like I don't care.
Yeah, the wheel of embraced shame is what we call it. So that'll do it. Didn't think flagellation would come up, but it did.
Sometimes you got to use the word of the calendar.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Take care.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.